Yeah, he says that that the esoteric name of the arcanum of the fool is love.
You know, it's kind of cool. Watching us on my phone do this. It's like that scene in Spaceballs when Rick Moranis is watching the movie of Spaceballs, and it's at the same time as the movie. That's what I feel.
Well, fast forward and see what happens.
So this will be a prequel to our actual conversation on Tomberg, and I have no idea where this conversation will go.
Well,
have you met Grimm before, Michael?
Well, yeah.
Yes, we've done a fringe encounter over on
That's
the
right. Yes. I
channel.
watched it. You guys talked about gardening and stuff, right?
And you can hear my mom yelling in the background. It was wonderful.
I mean, in terms of the Grail, Parsifal is also the fool. Like, so the one who finds the Grail is also a fool. He's a fool figure. And this is related to the connection between the fool and love, right? I think that's like, and I think the man, like the way that the fool in the positive aspect manifests is like the one who is love mad, but somehow remains to not fall into complete madness.
Love mad, but not in complete madness.
The idea, from the way I understand it, is the fool is really that's the one going through the whole pathway, right? So that's why I can see where some people would put the fool at the beginning, because the fool is the image of the self, right?
It's the image of transcendence.
Pardon me?
It's the transcendent moment.
A transcendence without madness, which is what I was trying to talk. That's actually what he says in the chapters.
It's the choice point, I think, and like I recall versions of the Thoreau where the fool is stepping off a cliff, and not just. I mean, the dog's still biting on his ass, and he's still got the little thing, but he's also stepping off a cliff, and so that it's like and he characterized it early in the chapter as the fool is announcing the new age right before he gets his own head lopped off. And so to me that's where this and that would also, with the way the shin and the love is tied to it, that's the implication that love is the transitory force, or the trans something force, right?
The transcendent force.
Transcendent, that's the word.
Yes. Yeah. There's also like there's a lot of echoes of in this chapter too of the image of the hangman, because the hangman is also an image of someone who is between, the terrestrial and the celestial, suspended between. But the fool seems to be like a further development of that.
You were saying the fool is without falling into madness, and the hanged man is more mid-fall, perhaps, or
well, it's kind of suspended. Like he uses Job as the quintessential example of the hangman. So he's sort of like in this in between state. So like, I mean, I would say that like there's a way in which like Job is connected to the hangman. And I think with the connection between the fool and love that Tomberg is making here, there's a way in which you have to say that Christ is connected to the fool. Because he's the one who reveals the essence of both God and man as being love.
Well, like you know, in Dostoevsky's novel, The Idiot, right? Prince Mishkin. This is right. Who is this guy? Is he a Christ figure? What is he? Is he just some idiot? You know, the wisdom of God is folly before men, right?
Yeah.
Which like if you try to bring Christ and the fool in the same sentence, I get a little wonky about it.
Christ is also a fool in the eyes of the world, Grimm.
Well, you can go there all you want.
According to the wisdom of the world, love your enemies is the dumbest thing ever said.
Sure.
Forgive them, Father, for they know not what they do, while people are nailing you to a tree, is complete idiocy. What utter foolishness.
I don't know. It makes sense to me.
Right back.
Because maybe you have maybe it takes the eyes of a fool in order to make sense. Because this is what I'm saying. There's a connection. It's like the one who has eyes for for transcendent love is the ultimate ground of reality. Is the fool, which is what makes him connected to Christ. Grimm has the reputation of embodying the full archetype in our little corner of the internet. But I think there's a way in which, like, from that kind of Don Quixote perspective, I think there's a bit of the fool in all of us.